So, Megan and I have done actually some extensive location scouting already. We've done quite a bit going out to the wilds of Utah, if you will. I guess you can call them that. What's fantastic about Utah, and one of the real advantages to it, is that within a couple hours of us, there are so many different kinds of scenery. You have, wooded mountains, excuse me. You have, the salt flats that are just empty desert with nothing growing on them, and lava fields. You have a huge variety of locations that we can use, which is perfect for this project that we're doing that essentially takes place in sort of a western desert area.
Yeah, the great benefit of Utah is that you can get a multitude of locations without having to travel very far. We are setting it primarily outdoors. There are a few interiors, but mostly it's outdoor locations, and we didn't want to shoot in like the same backdrop everywhere we go. And so it's really great. You had an hour and a half south and you get one look, and you had an hour and a half west and it's something completely different. So it's been really exciting checking out those kinds of things to figure out how we can mix it up and get cohesive looks that fit both in the fantasy western genre that we've created, but that also are different enough that they show interest.
Yeah, absolutely. The kinds of locations, as Megan said, we're primarily shooting outdoors. There is a couple indoor scenes, like we have a saloon scene. There's some stuff that takes place in some of the mining camp and tents and things like that. And we'll actually be building the set for the saloon. But primarily it'll be taking place outdoors in some really interesting desert scapes. The premise of the web series is that it's taking place in a world that has been devastated. It used to be very kind of Lord of the Rings, medieval, lush, filled with forests, and has since become a sort of decimated wasteland. And we found some really great locations for that sort of thing. One of my particular favorites actually is a kind of a prairie area that is also a lava field. So you have big black rocks jutting up out of the midst of all this like kind of yellow grass, and there's literally nothing around for miles. It's very kind of striking when you're out there.
Yeah, also a lot of it takes place, like he said, in mining camps and sort of in the mining community. It's a huge element to the story, especially the fantasy side of the story. So we were forced to sort of find ourselves some mines, which is was quite an adventure, absolutely. We're lucky to have a huge mining background in Utah as well. There are mining communities all over, ghost towns, washed up areas, and then some still actually operating mines. So we just did some sort of off the grid searching in those kinds of areas, and we're able to come up with some really, really great locations that you'll see in the
some very
in the film.
Neat old mines that that are no longer used, but are kind of from the 1800s. I mean, where mining is very different than it is today, obviously, and the old mining carts, and it's fantastic. I mean, that leads into why we're using Utah. I mean, it's got such a great background as far as mining history goes, that it's given us a lot of wonderful places to kind of use for this web series. We do not have dwarves in this epic, so unfortunately no dwarves. Maybe next time.
Yeah, second season.
Season 2!